In this video, guys, we are going to explore why are you still a losing trader. Stay tuned. Hey traders, warm welcome to you. Okay, so why are you still losing after all these years? You've been plugging along, you're plugging on, you're thinking, why am I losing? I am losing, I don't know, I've put all this effort into it, I never lose anything, and all of a sudden I'm losing. This is where you have to take a step back. You know, you are like this at the moment. You're like, okay, I'm losing. Next week, next day, gotta be a winner. Just take a step back from it. Just take a break potentially and just reflect and go, okay, there will be something that you can change very, very easily that will have a significant impact on your P&L. That is almost certain. Every trader I've worked with or seen, or in Traders Mastermind or other arenas, I've always found something that trader can change quite easily that has a huge impact on the P&L. Huge. Not saying it suddenly makes them into a seven-figure trader overnight, but it changes the direction of the equity curve. It changes their confidence. It changes the way they look at the markets, and it changes that bottom line. So you've got to find it. And it's actually quite comforting to know that there's one thing that makes a big impact. Is that going to fix all the problems? No, it's not. But there is one thing there. Your job is to go back and look at your trades, and you'll know in your heart what the issue is with your trading. Why am I still spinning my wheels? Is it because you're breaking your rules? If it's because you're breaking your rules, let's see how quick we can go through this type of stuff. If it's because you're breaking your rules, then at some point you don't believe, in the heat of the moment, you don't believe those rules are healthy. You don't believe that they're conducive to successful trading. And you are having this internal friction in your mind, this internal dialogue in your mind that's saying, I don't want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do the other. You have to have rules that you believe in, you trust, and in the heat of the moment, you have to see it as a test to say, hey, I am going to stick to my rules. I am going to not break these trading rules. I don't care whatever happens in this trade, whether it's right or wrong in the short term. My job is to prove that I can stick to rules. If I was employing you as a trader for me and I said, hey, have 2.2 million of my capital. There you go, off you go. Right, the rules are this. You can't risk more than X amount of money, dollars per day. Your position size must be X. You can only trade these instruments. You can trade this number of trades a day and some other risk-based rules. If you break them, you're out the door. Go on, get out. I was about to swear on YouTube then. Get out. Off you go. Don't trade again. You'd be like, okay, fine. Can I do this? And we'd agree the rules together. So you're happy with that? Great, shake your hand, off you go. Right. If you broke the rules, you know, they'd be like, sorry, you can't stick to the rules. This is hard-earned capital. I'm putting a risk with you. You agreed to stick to the risk parameters and you've ignored them. You're out the door. Thanks very much. Goodbye. You know that's the case. So why do we break it? And you do the same. If you were employing somebody else, you'd do exactly the same. So why do we break the rules? So anyway, I'm going off topic with this, but it's an important one. I've done whole videos on this before. And again, it's the sort of thing we focus on exclusively at times in that coaching call and another call. So that's something to explore, the rules. Now, if you're breaking those, you can fix that. You have got it in you to do it. You just need to look yourself in the mirror and say, it's time to get it done. Get it done. Just stick to the rules. You've got the rules, you know what you've got to do. The test is each time that you want to break the rule and you don't. That's the point. It's not the results, it's not the P&L, it's when you're sitting in front of that screen and you're about to pull the trigger on a trade that you know you're not allowed to take, that you don't do it. That's the win, that's the journey, that's the point. Once you do that, and again, and again, and again, you prove you can stick to those rules, all of a sudden the game changes. Your confidence changes. It starts to leak into your strategy. Your strategy then becomes something that you execute flawlessly. And it doesn't matter if you get it wrong, or if you have a losing period in the strategy. It doesn't matter because you're following the plan. You're sticking to the strategy. And you now have become a trader that's confident that can follow the rules and stick to the plan, stick to the structure and go with the strategy, and then look at the strategy and go, what dials need to be adjusted to iterate and move forward? I need to be a little bit later with my exits. I need to be a little bit earlier with my entries. I need to be more sized up on this play. I need to be this, I need to be that. Done. Then, with the confidence you've built on sticking to the strategy, you run that again. And you say, hey, it's starting to get work. Hey, it's starting to work. Little adjustments. But if you're constantly not sticking to the strategy, you're going to struggle. Okay, let's go to the pure operational side of it, the pure strategy side of it. There's a couple of things that tend to be wrong, I find, is you are so caught up in trading one specific setup that you're not seeing the bigger picture. I think this is quite common. So what's the current conditions of the market? What are you looking at in the market? Are you reading it as a trending market? Are you reading it as a mean reversion market? Are you reading it as a choppy market? Are you reading it as what? What is it? Are you even bothering looking at that? Or are you just looking at this going, yes, it's head and shoulders. Yes, it's a flag. Yes, it's this, it's that, the other. Because if you're doing that, it's not going to work. We have to step back and realize that it's the bigger money moving the money in the market, and the money flow is where our edge is. I've just done a video on that. Go and check it out. I talk about where the edge is. That's our edge. Our edge isn't some stupid little pattern that occurs randomly. Yes, that pattern is useful and it can show the tip of supply and demand and can show the nuances, but where that pattern occurs is important. If you're going around trading that pattern in the middle of no man's land, in the middle of nothing, you're going to get nothing results. You go, that pattern doesn't work. It doesn't work. You know, why am I trading this pattern? But you're using the wrong position, and it's not necessarily you. It's like, okay, step back, be picky. Set some standards for yourself and say, I'm not going to trade a market that's got a low ATR. I'm not going to trade it. I'm not going to trade a market that's not in a decent trend. I'm not going to trade a market that's not right on the extremes of those edges of the mean reversion trade that I want to take. I'm just not going to. And I'm not going to trade the market this time of day. I'm not going to trade that. You've got to be strict with it. And then you start implementing the strategy that's probably quite effective, because the strategy is relatively easy to get down. It's probably quite effective, the strategy, but where you use it is where the inefficiency is coming. And you know what it is. You take 10 trades. If you had 5 losers, all of a sudden, if you were one-to-one, you've net zero. If you didn't trade on those conditions, a crazy example, imagine it's 5 of those trades, all of a sudden, good winning week. And so this is so important to know when not to trade. And this is where overtrading comes in. This is when, trading environments you have got no business trading in, walking away from the screen, doing this, doing that. And your strategy is probably sound, but it's when you're implementing your strategy, it's worth a look. Definitely dig into that. Say, hey, if I just got rid of those crap end of the trades, there's 30% of absolute beat trades. Where would I be? Well, in a much better position. And digging into that and saying, okay, that's what I need to do. I need to be better at my rules and better at implementing my strategy. And the thing is, if we circle back, this is all linked, guys. This is linked. We don't think, they're separate things. No, they're linked, because you're not sticking to your rules, because it's your internal being going, no, don't take it. It's not going to work. It's not effective. You've got no confidence in the strategy. You don't want to pull the trigger. And so you break the rules on the fly. You go, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I know better. I'm just going to react to what's going on. And that's a byproduct of not trusting the strategy, because you don't have any confidence in the strategy, because the strategy is not showing any effectiveness for you. So when you start to be a little bit cautious about where you're implementing the strategy, how you're implementing it, just halve the number of trades for a start. Minimize the rules, halve the trades, stop over trading. Just be very, very mindful about it and stick to that for a period of time. Let it flow, let it play out, see what results you get. Most people out there who've been spinning the wheels for so long, they have never stuck to their rules and their strategy for a month even. They've dipped in and out, they've broken rules, they've done this, and have you stuck to a strategy or a group of strategies, whatever that many is, and not broken any rule for a 30 or 90-day period? The answer is always no. Then how can you expect to move forward when you sit down in the weekend and you write down this great strategy, you write down these great rules, and then on Monday morning you throw them over your shoulder? Metaphorically, you just don't stick to it. You're never going to make progress that way, and that's exactly what happens. It's this big wheel back, and you've got, the good thing is, right, the good news is this: all fixable. absolutely all fixable, and knowing where to press is key. But the experience and screen time you've had has not gone to waste. So I don't think this is, oh God, I've wasted 2 years. No. That's very, very valuable. That has fed your intuition. And now when we work on the rules and we work on the correct strategies and the correct rules and the correct risk parameters and find out your personality, how you like to trade, what you are good at, where you can implement that in the market, how you can implement that in the market, and sticking to it with an accountability program, all of a sudden things will change. And it's just breaking through that initial barrier and going, no, I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm going to force myself to stick to this and become a disciplined trader who sticks to a strategy, who has an efficient routine, who is not prepared to take any consequence, or not prepared to lower his standards, should I say, who is strict in what he does. Now, is that going to make you into a profitable trader overnight? No, but it's absolutely going to give you massive confidence. And confidence is a big key. It's going to start to build on that intuition you've already got. It's going to build your confidence. It's going to stop you from thinking you can wipe out at any point. It's going to not make you concerned about drawdown because you know you can recover from it. You're going to become effective at developing new strategies. You can become effective at staying out of bad markets. Are you going to lose trades? Absolutely you will. Are you going to hopefully get more traction and feel better about things? If you stick to things, you stick to rules, and you're very mindful about how you trade, you can turn things around quicker than you can think, than you can imagine, should I say. So these are generally the two things, guys: your rules, your strategy. Why are you still losing after all these years is probably one thing. Identify that one thing, adjust it, stick to it for a period of time, and see where you are. Iterate, 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 iterate. You could be a completely different trader in 90 days' time. Let me know how you get on. Take care. Bye-bye.